Welcome to Kung Fu Habit number 2. So, not going to give you an expensive ass wushu or kung fu lesson. Just a couple of thoughts that has gotten by me, If you ever seen this movie called The Warriors of Virtue, where there's these 5 kangaroos that are bouncing around, and one of them has these rings. He has the rings around his wrist and like a big hula hoop thing, and that actually is a wushu type style. I do not remember the name of it. There's more than one style of wushu for those who don't know. Alright, so in fighting with disc, especially with one with a rope, you got to be prepared for it, so. It's never going to happen in real life. Oh, forgot. Still had the rope in my hand. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I could probably use this thing as a weapon in the daytime. Probably not so much in the nighttime. That's just my shirt though, doesn't it? So, defensive posture. Let's take crane. So here's crane. So like block, block, block. Same thing when your hands are bound. The reason why I'm showing you this is because here's the truth. As a martial artist, everything you touch, whether it is a conventional or a standard weapon, is your weapon. So I'm going to give you a little demo about touching things that are conventional versus standard. You've seen all my standard shit. Alright, you've seen it. You've seen the double nunchucks. You've seen the bow staff. If you were watching last night, then you definitely saw it. Alright? For those who are on Kung Fu Habit number 2, I've taught you about conventional and standard weapons before. For those who are on Facebook and Instagram, conventional weapons, to a martial artist, anything you touch should be your weapon. Or you need to go back to class. Alright? Now, I will recommend this because I say this as a disclaimer each and every time I show you something. Do not try this shit at home. It is great for fucking making movies, and that's where it ends. I wanted to be a movie star, epic failing at that, but I will never ever give up on Kung Fu, and I will continue to chase my dream until I die. Someone's trying to get on here. Oh, it's my brother, and I couldn't get him. Sorry, brother, I'm really stupid with technology. I do not know how to bring you to the camera. It may work. It may not work. I hate technology. Anyway, point of the matter being, anything you touch as a martial artist becomes a part of you. Any skill that you have, it will either increase or decrease your skill. Do not rely on weapons because you should be the weapon. But in the event that you have to use a weapon, everything you touch is your weapon. Anybody who doesn't know about this, better stop calling yourself a martial artist. Alright? So rather it be this steering wheel looking thing or anything else, you can use it as a weapon. You just probably want to get a little bit of training in beforehand. So we're going to stick with crane and snake. Alright? Because that is more something that I can use this with. So in the crane style, when you begin here, your basic block low, your basic block high, your medium block. Maybe I didn't get in enough spot for you guys to catch that. So your medium block here, or your medium block here. Same thing on this side, because there are some of us that are left-handed. So your crane, your low block, your high block, your medium block. If you notice, the wing never moves out of the way. Now, a lot of people like to do crane open-handed this way, but you can't do it this way. I guess it really depends on who's teaching you what. I prefer this way, so it'll make it easier for my chop, or it'll make it easier for me to grab someone if they're throwing a punch, and I can step, punch, I can grab their wrist and break their elbow. Doing this, I probably shouldn't be teaching that on TV, but anyway, I've done it now, so it's all good. I tell people to break at the elbow because the elbow has arteries and pressure points, and they control the flow of blood to your hand. You can't punch me in the face if you can't use your hand. All right? That's just my philosophy. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. Just know that shit happens. And if I'm going to fight you, I'm going to break your elbows and your kneecaps so that you can no longer fuck me up. That's the long and short of that. So, crane, strike, block, block. Crane, strike, block, block. Generally, one side or the other is not going to be perfect. Unless you're one of those lucky people who can do both sides equally, which most of us can't. I tell people work on your stronger side because your weaker side, rewind that. I tell people to work on their weaker side because their stronger side will automatically adapt. If your stronger side does not automatically adapt, time to go back to class 101. You have to work on your weaknesses to turn them into strengths, all right? I'm not naturally left-handed, but I do everything left-handed because I know that my right hand is going to compensate and adapt and catch up. So this basically, from my cousin, uncontrolled and unquantifiable power because you never really use it unless you're training, boxing, martial arts, boom, boom, if you're not using it, then the power's just there, but you don't know how to use it. Oh, well, something happened with Facebook. Anyway, moving on. Everything you touch in any style of martial arts should be your weapon. But the number one weapon is that thing behind your eyes and between your ears called your brain. You will not be beaten unless you do not know how to use your brain. Or if you're fighting someone who has a whole lot more experience, then you have a problem. It's not that you can't beat them. It may take a little bit longer. But most fights do not do like the movies. They only last 3 to 5 minutes. Straight up. Or unless there's like a paycheck involved where, you got to go to rounds because you want that money. So you're going to go the distance. Now, this toy wheel thing, I have no idea what it is. And I was talking reference to the Warriors of Virtue. I want you guys as your homework assignment to Google it and go watch it because the Ninja Turtles weren't the only animals that did martial arts back in the 90s. So, crane, block, strike, that's also a block. I added some Kempo to that. So block, but you can also strike. So from crane position, there's your first step, strike. See my guard's here now, but it's closed because this thing wrapped around it. So, boom, boom. And I slipped. Don't slip. Or make sure you can recover really fast. So let's try it again. But this time I'm going to do a Tai Chi type version of crane where I'm going to tap this foot with this weapon and then I'm going to strike. Got that? I'm sure you've probably seen this. Go watch some Power Rangers. So, crane, boom, 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 boom. Got that? Looked a little odder than I described it, right? Because battlefield technique changes in the middle of battle. Remember that. The battlefield technique that you have in your head changes on the battlefield immediately. So let's try it again. Crane, tap, double kick, strike. All right, what was wrong with that picture? Anybody notice? You noticed my guard? Yes, my guard was not all the way in the position that it should have been. It's kind of hard to do that once you're in motion. Remember that. So, this is where my guard should be. For crane, we're going to try this again. Tap. Not much better. Guards in the actual place. Here's where shit gets complicated. Alright. So, I'm going to do the crane. Heel tap. Doom, doom. Alright. You might only get one kick with this left leg. So, ready? Crane. Tap. Boom, boom, boom. And as you notice, my guard position is a little bit different. And my hand was clenched. Now, like I said, in all fights, your battle position changes as you move along through the fight. In all things, adaptation is the key to life. So, guys coming, boom, boom, boom. You didn't see a second guy coming because there's always more than one. A couple of months back, I did a video on Ghost Man fighting. Ghostman fighting is consistent in Kung Fu styles. Maybe not so much Wushu, but as like in Wing Chun or regular Kung Fu, there is a Ghostman training. Ghostman training makes you think better, makes you move faster, makes your reaction time speed up because you are fighting more than one person. Granted, they cannot physically harm you, henceforth the name Ghostmen, but it keeps you aware of what's surrounding you and what can come at you at any time. So, if I got a guy here and a guy here, and I decide to Captain America the shit out of that sumbitch, because it was the Captain America punch before the Marine turned it into the Superman punch. So initially it looks like this. Alright? And some of my old videos on Kung Fu Havoc 1, you can go see that. So, I got two guys. I need to hit them both at the same time. Alright? I used to be able to jump higher. So, here's what you're not going to do. Boom. Boom. One, that was too slow. And fights don't move like that. Except in the movies. Alright? Now, granted, the first thing I did, you might not do that. You might not be able to pull that shit off. So you need to be able to use your brain. Watch and learn. I couldn't release it. It was trapped in my thumb. So we'll try that again. Alright? Best way to hit two people when you have a weapon is to sacrifice the weapon. But do not miss. Luckily, this thing has a rope, so you can always snatch it back. Okay, so let's stop playing games. Let's start getting serious now. Alright, so when you are doing fighting, and it is a simple fight, and you are at a tactical advantage, you know, this damn thing right here, someone throws a punch and gets their hand stuck, they're screwed. It's probably never going to happen. Alright? But in the event that you have a guy here and a guy here, first one comes at you, they're hit. You see how simple that was? There was no kicks involved. There was nothing fancy involved. There was just real live shit. You got a guy here and a guy here. Whoever's the closest gets hit with this thing first. Alright? There's realistic martial arts for you. Instead of some movie shit that I just did like this. Alright? Movie shit works, but it's best used in the movies. I tell you guys this shit for a reason. I don't want anybody to run out and say, well, I seen James do it, so I can do it. Yeah, you probably can. But there's also that other side of that coin that says, you may get your ass kicked. They're not going to blame you for that shit. Alright? Let's keep the shit real. You know? I always tell people quite a few things when it comes to martial arts. First, let me get rid of this. Alright? The best weapon that you will ever have, these things here, those things there. Make great use of them. Every now and again, you may need a little help, so the thing that I just got rid of is an extension of your skills and your possibilities or your capabilities. Now, in a real fight, you're going to keep it simple. Boom. Boom. Turning side. Jumping knee. But this is close quarters. Long distance. Boom. You're going to keep them at a distance. Boom. Those are your lengthy attacks. But when the fight begins, you need to keep that shit basic. Guys coming at you. Oh no, he's caught your foot. You should probably not kick first. That's why you should box him out first. You know, jab him. Tap, tap. He switches styles to southpaw, you switch styles to southpaw. Keep that sumbitch guessing. This is standard. This is southpaw. He breaks into a kung fu stance. That's crane. Hands closed in case you didn't notice. So let's try it again. That was the extra shit from Wushu and Tai Chi. So here you go. Time to stop playing. He breaks into crane. You also know martial arts. What do? Do you break into crane or do you stand straight? You stand straight. The main reason why a person will beat a person who knows martial arts is because you just gave your shit away the second you broke into some shit like that. So this guy knows the possibilities. This guy's either going to be able to kick me, or He's going to punch me. He's going to do something dangerous, so I need to cover up. I need to be able to cover up. I need to be able to cut up, so that way I can make sure if he throws a punch, my ribs are protected. If he throws a punch to the face, my face is protected. Worst come to worst, you know, that little cheap duck, it works, you know. So now I got to work out how am I going to counter. This son bitch throws a left hook, boom, boom. That's Kung Fu. This is karate, boom, boom. You see I stepped in. Kung Fu has no wasted motion. Karate doesn't really waste motion, but it takes longer to get from point A to point B. All right? To each their own. That which I will give you, to each their own. Because here's other minute differences with Kung Fu and karate. And this really goes to the school that you learn from and how much you practice and what you are taught. In some traditional Kung Fu, if you go in for a crane strike and you turn into a punch on impact. So you can practice like this until the cows come home. When a real fight happens, you ain't going to remember none of that shit. Because your ass is going to be just like this. And if you don't do just like that, you're probably going to get your shit fucked up. So, you know, I'm going to show you a Kung Fu block and strike at once. Then I'm going to show you a karate block and counter. All right? So, guys, on this side, he's throwing a right jab. Boom, boom. There's your Kung Fu. Your primary target, the wrist, and then up there. All right? For karate, you block, you step, and you counter. Your target's either the solar plexus or his fucking chin. Here's a tip. Go for the gut. Man can't breathe, he can't hurt you. No offense to anybody that I just offended with that, but it's a stated fact. The bigger a person is, the harder they're going to hit you. So that means don't hold back on their ass. All right? So, got those. All right, one this way. For Kung Fu, you have a conglomerate of options and almost 3.5 seconds to make a fucking decision when a fist is coming at your face. Same can be said for karate. But for Kung Fu, you're going to block, snap the elbow, slide down the arm, and here. Now, if this person also knows Kung Fu, he's going to be ready for that. So he might move in when you go to snap the elbow. He might tuck his body in and come in with a palm strike to your area. So you need to be able to move back and palm strike his palm strike. Where with karate, you're going to block and counter. All right? But that also leaves you subject to him batting it away and countering your counter. He may bat it away and go for a front kick. So you need to be prepared for that. All right? There are a lot of things in these martial arts schools that they aren't going to teach you. I learned that when I was in the Army with BJJ. Now, when you watch a lot of these BJJ guys and they're rolling around, they're all up here, struggling to get that arm so they can put you in the arm bar, or struggling to get side mount so they can elbow you in the face. No one said while they're up here on top of you on side mount that you can't drive your knees into their guts, which is what I suggest. I suck at BJJ, so I'm going to fight dirty. Simple as that. If you're on top of me and you got side mount and you're trying to get this arm, you can get this arm, but it's going to cost you. Because I'm trying to break your freaking ribs with this leg because it's the closest leg to the nearest part of your body. Unless I'm curled up in the fetal position while you're on side mount. Then you're going to get both legs. Because I'm going to drive my knees into you. Which means all of this because you're on side mount. Either you're on the right or the left, you're on side mount. So if you're on side mount and I'm in full guard on the bottom, my knees are fair game to use to any part of your body. But when most people are training, they kind of get caught up in the haze of, I can't let you get this arm. If you get this arm, I'm attack. If you get this arm, I'm attack. You might. But while you're fighting, you need to use that brain and start jabbing some knees into the shit. You know, is it possible to not do it? Yes, it's possible to not do it because when I was getting my ass handed to me on the mats down in Fort Benning, Georgia, I wasn't even thinking about kneeing the guy because he was sitting on top of me and he was almost 8 feet tall. Hey, brother. I know you're out there. Thank you for serving us. Anyway, I couldn't get side mount on him because all he had to do was just push me off of him because he's every bit of 250 pounds. I don't know why the Army set me up with that guy. But anyway, he was like 6 feet something and every bit of 250 pounds. And every time I had side mount, it would be like Rey Mysterio going against the Big Show. And I would always be thrown off of him. Now, when the fact of the matter is, when the drill sergeant wasn't looking, that's when that happened, because he kind of owed me for every time the drill sergeant wasn't looking. I headbutt him in the nuts. Hey, gotta keep it real. So, again, thanks, brother, for tolerating that shit. Now, when you are in a fucking fight, you know you gotta protect your head. You have to protect your head. There are other key parts of your body that you have to protect, but there are also other key parts of your body that you can utilize while in a fight. All right? So if you're taking any boxing, they generally tell you that your forehead is the hardest part of your face. Go with that. The problem is you're not always going to be able to tuck your forehead in time. That's also when boxers tell you you come in tight, you keep your chin tucked so they don't knock your ass out in case you got a glass jaw. All right? Now, if you got an iron jaw and you know you can take a couple of hits to the face, fuck it. Rocky the shit out that motherfucker. You know, I haven't been hit in the face in a long time, so I'm not trying to go to sleep. So I'm just going to cover my shit. All right? Now, let's talk about different assortments of kicks and punches. And I'm going to give you this lesson after I stop the video from Kung Fu Havoc #2 and start a new one. Because I don't know how